I had to go through the checkpoint, so I had to split the video into two. But again, South Point, I love playing there. The tables are great. The blackjack tables have pretty good odds. They pay 3-2 on double deck, and I've never lost there since I started going there. They also have a poker room. The poker room to me isn't very great. I've been in there, bet $10 on a smaller limit table, and everybody folds. But I've also had good nights there where there was a drunk guy and he was playing crazy, and I made $600 while I was just waiting for steak and eggs, because they do have a steak and egg special that's really good as well. But as far as their tables, they will watch you like hawks. I don't play as high of a spread there because I know they would ban me if I did. So I try not to get banned, even though I know I'm not betting the full potential of what I could be winning, but I do win consistently, so that works out. The other good thing about it is because I don't have such a high spread, when it goes bad, I don't have as negative as losses for the variance, because the count could be super high. You could get dealt 16, which is horrible when you know there's a bunch of 10s coming. You can't surrender. The dealer's showing a 10 or an ace. Your chances of winning are very low. And even though the count's high, it's not a guaranteed win. It could mean that you got a 20 and then the dealer got a blackjack. So the good thing about not playing that high of a variance is I never have to get out of as big of a hole when it does go bad on those bad, when the count's high and it just goes bad. So that's another reason why I don't bet as high of a spread, not to get banned and not as bad of a variance when it is bad. But anyways, as far as the Grand Sierra, we went to the craps table. It was really good. One of my friends showed up. He actually has a really good shot. He came to Vegas and he threw the dice, and I couldn't believe it. He was rolling really good. So when he came, I told him, go ahead, throw like you did in Vegas. I bet $100 chips on each number, and he did really well, made me some money. And then the game kind of just evened out. I had a really good roll also, but as you're playing craps, especially if the table is packed, sometimes it can take a long time for the dice to get back to you, and the other shooters on the table most likely aren't going to be as good because they're not setting the dice and they're not experienced. They're just grabbing and tossing. You will see a lucky roll every once in a while where they're doing that, but it's not as often. It's not consistent. And that's one thing too, is with the random roller, they can have a roll and where they just go on a heater and hit 60 rolls, and then the next time they go up they hit 2 and crap out. So those shooters, you never know when they're going to roll good, but as you're playing, you can always start increasing your bets as they're hitting. You get your money back, and then start playing with the profit, start hitting again, increase your bets even more. So you just keep winning more and more, and those super long rolls end up still being really good. The other thing on craps is I'm very social. So when the table started evening out, wasn't going as good, what I like to do, I went around the casino and I found a pretty girl, and I asked her if she had ever played craps before. She said no. So I was like, hey, you want to come to the table? If you throw good and I make money, I'll give you some of the profits. And of course she agreed. I've never had somebody decline it because there's no risk for them. I like doing this because it gets people into the game. I love craps so much that I like teaching it. So I'm able to show people strategies so that instead of just going in there and playing stupid slot machines, they can go in there, play a game with a strategy, and without even being able to roll, can still do okay. So they came to the table, I bet every number, and sure enough, she had a pretty lucky roll. And from there, I gave her half the profit of what I profited on that roll, and then she started making her own bets. I showed her that if you bet the 5, 6, 8, and 9, that every roll you'll profit as long as you don't bet too high in the field. So if you bet $10 in the field and you bet $10 on the 5, $12 on the 6, $12 on the 8, and you roll a 5, 6, or 8, it pays 14, but you lose the field, but you still profit $4. Not a big, huge gain, but the thing about it is it makes the game exciting because, like I said, it's every roll. As long as they don't throw a 7, you profit every single roll. And then when they do throw a field number, you can take the profit and start pressing your 5, 6, and 8. So then when it does hit one of those, you leave your field bet at 10, and then let's say you have 15 on the 5, it pays 21. So you still profit $11 every time they throw a 5. And if you just keep pressing them and the roll's going good, then you can get to the point where you're making huge money on the 5, even though you're losing $10 on the field. But you got your bets up so high that you're still profiting money. Like I said, I love the game. It's something when it's going really good, it's the best game in the whole casino. Everyone's together. It's a team game. So when somebody is rolling good, then everybody's happy. Everybody's making money. After we had a couple good rolls, the table got extremely cold. And not only that, when it got back to the girl that I brought over to the table, she was having a good roll, and nobody was reacting. She'd roll a good number, and the other side of the table was just dead silent. And she was like, "What's going on? How come nobody's happy?" And even though they were making money, so the vibes didn't feel as positive, and we actually left the table. But we won money. She won about $300, where she was just on a dollar machine. Probably wasn't going to make any money, but she won $300. She learned a new game. And then we went over to blackjack, and at Grand Sierra they have single deck blackjack that pays 3-2, and I won pretty quick on that game. Just waited until the count was a little high, bet big, got a blackjack, won a couple hands, and within 20 minutes I had already profited about $1,500 plus what we won on the table. So it was a good experience. I also love meeting new friends. In Vegas recently, I've been meeting a lot of good shooters, which is not very common in Washington. Where I'm heading, I was always used to being the best shooter. So going to Vegas and seeing some other people shoot really well, it makes it to where I feel more comfortable betting on other people's rolls there, and it's easier to win. So coming up here, I'll have to be careful, depend on my own roll, because there's other people that can lose all your money within one roll and then crap out the next one. So with random shooters, always be careful. But Reno, it was a good little day trip. I didn't plan on staying there too long, just because, like I said, it was a ghost town. So I'm glad I only plan to stay there for one day. I should be in Vancouver by tonight. Illinois Casino in Vancouver. It's one of the nicest casinos I've ever been. So I love it there. I have the highest level card, which allows me to get into the VIP lounge, which I'll show you later. And then they also comp me a free room. So I'm going to do some stories on the way. I have a super long drive, so I have a lot of free time. So I'm going to do some really good crap stories and post each one. There's some really funny ones. Recently, I had one of the funnest craps games I've ever had, and it was because there was a big bettor there. But I'm going to go through and do a couple of those stories, but please stay posted. And when I get to Vancouver, I'll show you that casino, and you'll be amazed. It's beautiful.